Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm answering my most asked question across all of my platforms. You guessed it. How to become an au pair in America. So I've been au pairing for a year and a half now, so I kind of understand how the program runs, and I found these type of videos very helpful when I was planning on coming to au pair in America, and I'm hoping that this video helps someone else and get the next generation of au pairs ready. So, a little backstory: before I became an au pair, I actually used to work at a school. I was a professional tutor, and it was kind of a serious job, okay? It was pretty serious. But I really wanted to travel, and I just couldn't afford it. I just can't save. I'm really bad at saving. So I figured out that the best way for me to travel to a different country is if I worked in that country. So I looked at all the different ways that I could work in a country and live in that country and looked at all your workaways and all of that. And I stumbled across au pairing. And it worked perfectly because I already worked with children, so I had the experience. I liked working with children, so it wouldn't be a job that I hated. And then I get to travel to a different country. I then went down the rabbit hole of trying to find an agency. And when I say the audacity from some of these agencies is crazy. I found agencies charging upwards of 20,000 Rand. And I'm like, if I couldn't afford to travel, what makes you think I can afford to pay that? So I kind of gave up hope a little bit. And then one night I found House-O-Orange, which is the agency that I ended up working with. And the rest is history. Well, the rest is not history because I'm going to tell you. House of Orange was actually the best agency for me to work with because they were so much more affordable in comparison to the other agencies. They were charging almost a third of other agency prices, and their reviews were amazing. People said that they were, firstly, legit, which is really important when you're going to au pair. Secondly, they had really good customer service, and I needed people that were going to reassure me and help me throughout the whole journey. And thirdly, I was reassured to see that they gave you the same package and the same deal as what the bigger, more expensive agencies were giving you. So it was exactly the same for a third of the price. So after I decided that I wanted to go with House of Orange, I sent them an email and basically told them that I'm interested in working with their agency to au pair. They got back to me and they sent me this questionnaire that had a checklist of all the things that they required for you to be an au pair, and then I had to send it back so that they could tell me if I qualify or not before we got the whole application process started. So, what was on this checklist? What are their requirements? Firstly, you need to be between the ages of 18 and 26. And if you're at the end of the 26, if you're nearing the end of your 26th year, that might be a challenge in getting your visa, but you can still take the chance. You need to not have children of your own. Everybody on TikTok always asks me, how will they know if I have children? How will they know? They will know, okay? They do background checks themselves. So you can't be married and you can't have children of your own. You need to have a driver's license. What's great with a lot of agencies is that they don't really stipulate how long you had to have your driver's license. Some agencies will ask you for a minimum of a year, but some agencies don't mind. But what's really important is you have to be confident in your driving skills. So if you're a confident driver in South Africa, you're not going to struggle with the adjustment and the changing of direction that driving in America brings. You need to be confident in driving in all types of weather conditions, rain, I don't know, extreme wind, sunlight, and all of that. Obviously, not snow because we don't get snow in South Africa. But if you're confident in driving in most conditions, most host families would really appreciate that because this just opens you up to way more families. The driver's license is mandatory, but being confident with driving can open you up to a lot more families because most families just need a driver anyway. Okay, then we get to the childcare. This is the most important part because that is actually what you're going to be doing. So you need 500 hours of childcare. A bit of it can be with friends and family, like just looking after your cousin's kids or your niece and your nephew. But most of it has to be some sort of professional childcare. Okay. babysitting, maybe babysitting someone from church's child, or working at a daycare, or you could do au pairing in South Africa. In America, they would consider that nannying, when you pick up someone's kids and you drop them off at school and you kind of do homework with them. In America, they consider that a nanny because you don't sleep at the house. But in South Africa, we call it au pairing. So you could do something like that, something to help you get the experience, and get you the 500 hours. If you want your profile to be more attractive and get it out there and have more opportunities to interview with families, then you're going to want to get infant qualified. So this is 500 hours of looking after children that are infants, so between the ages of 0 and 2 years old. So having experience looking after children of any age will get your profile out there and families can interview you. But families that have infants can only see au pairs that are infant qualified. So it's always nice to keep your options a little bit more open and have more opportunities to match with families. And then I kind of put this lower in the list, but a matric certificate, I should have probably started with that. But you do need a matric certificate, to au pair to get your visa and all of that. Then you're going to need your police clearance. I would suggest that starting with this, once the agency tells you, hey, you qualify, you should apply, you should go get your police clearance, because this can take a very long time and you don't want to be really waiting for that while you have all your documents already ready to send to the agency. So I would get this started really early in the process. You also need a character reference. So this can come from colleagues, from people that you go to church with, from your dominee, anyone who can give some sort of character reference to show that you are able to live with other people, you're up to the challenge of moving abroad, you're up to the challenge of being an au pair, and you're just a person who can do it, right? I don't know what more that the character reference really has to say besides we know her, we like her, she's a good person, and I think she'll be great for this program. Simple, but kind of, you know. Then you need to pay your registration fee. When I did it with House of Orange, my registration fee was only 500 Rand. There's obviously other fees along the way, but just to get registered was 500 Rand. While all of your documents are coming together, you need to start working on your intro video. So this intro video is kind of like an advertisement of yourself. You're going to include your photos of your family, holidays that you enjoy, some children that you've worked with, obviously with parents' consent, and just kind of show your personality, show what you like to do, but obviously keep it professional. Okay, so it's very nice little, this is who I am, this is what I like to do, little episode of what your life is like. And this is mostly what host families will watch. I had a lot of host families contacting me to be like, oh, I really like this part in your video where you spoke about your mom. So I realized then that a lot of host families maybe don't even read your profile, but they do watch that video. So try to give it a little bit of effort, okay? And then lastly, you need 20 photos. So these 20 photos are similar to your video. They kind of show a glimpse of who you are, your personality, your friends, your family, holidays you like to go on. But again, really professional. So maybe don't include, you taking shots in Long Street. It's some photos that are professional, but still show your personality that the host families can look through. Once you have all of your documents, video, fees, and photos all together, you're going to send that to your agency as a package. If you go for an agency similar to House of Orange, they're really good at helping you put that all together. They can tell you which photos are good or not, and they kind of guide you through the process. I know some bigger agencies, they don't really have that much time for you. So if you go for like a smaller but still legit agency, they can help you through that process, which I really enjoyed. Once your agency gets it and they approve it, they send it through to the American agencies and they will fact check everything. They're going to call your references, your childcare, your character reference. They're going to make sure just everything is legit. But it is a bit of a challenging process that time. They're going to call you a lot, but it's kind of also exciting because that's when you can see the wheels are really turning and like things are happening. Once the American side of the au pair agency is done with the profile, then your profile goes live. This is the most exciting part. So this is when you can start interviewing with families. You'll get emails, phone calls, texts. The agency will definitely let you know that your profile is now live. Okay. So, what's interesting about this part is that the families can see you, but you can't see them. So, you're kind of waiting for them to reach out to you. But if you make your videos and your photos and your profile pop enough, you will be getting those messages. Okay. Then you have to do your interviews. I'm going to make another video with really good tips on how to interview with host families. But basically, just remember to be on time. It's going to be the middle of the night because of the time differences, but just try to look, presentable, have some questions that you want for them, and then have some responses for some regular questions that you're expected to be asking. What's really important with this part, and I always advise people, is to actually be able to reject host families. You can't get wrapped up in, I really want to go and I really want to au pair. So you just agree to almost anything and everyone. But you need to have some of your own non negotiables that you might want to write down on a list so you can remind yourself, like, no, thank you. Yes, this time is to explore and grow and get out of your comfort zone, but there's some things that should maybe be a hard no for you. For example, if you're someone who suffers from seasonal depression, au pairing in Seattle, Washington might not be the best thing for you. The weather is dreary, it's gloomy, it's just all the way. That's not going to be great for your mental health. I made it that I don't want to work with kids that are home the whole day. I want my kids to go to school so I can have time in the day to make silly little videos like this. Some of my friends are die hard. They don't want to have children that go to school. They want to work the whole 9 hours all day so that they start a little bit earlier and they end a little bit earlier in the day. So some of those things are things you have to think about before you start interviewing so you can kind of sift through the weeds and not get wrapped up in every family and hope to make it just work with them. I keep having to start this video, so I'm sure I keep shifting positions, but this is the last recording, so hopefully this is it you're going to see for now. So after you're done with all your interviews, you've met your different families, and you and this one particular family think you're going to match, you can go ahead and do that on the portal, and then you're officially matched and you get your au pair and host family agreement. Oh, so exciting! The search is over. And now begins all your preparation into going to America. This includes getting your visa, getting your flight, and packing your bags. Getting the process started for your visa is pretty simple. You have all the documents that you need already. It's just getting an appointment. I know in Johannesburg, I really struggled to get an appointment because, sorry, I was saying in Johannesburg, I really struggled to get a date. Those visa dates really went very quickly. I know other provinces struggle as well, but I'm just saying in Johannesburg, I did struggle. But with a little bit of perseverance and determination, I ended up getting a really good visa date. I went for my interview and my visa got approved. I will be making a whole separate video on visas, what to do for your visa interview, what to bring for your visa interview, and all of that. So stay tuned. So pairs have a J1 visa, which is only for 1 year, but the program allows you to extend for a second year. You just won't have a visa. There's a difference between having a visa and having your status changing. It's a whole thing. But basically, you get a J1 visa for 1 year in your passport. And once you have that, you pack your bags and you go. I hope this video has been informative. If you have any questions, leave them down below or DM me on Instagram or TikTok. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the videos in this series. The next video in the series will be how to interview with your host families to make sure you get a really good match.